following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, Phoenix, this is Brother Mike. I'm back on the radio. Welcome to Filthy Fridays, HardcoreChristianity.com. God bless you and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to KXXT Christian Radio, our 1010 listeners and our Dark Sky radio broadcast all over the world on the internet. May God bless you today. Thanks for tuning in. The Bible study is on Christian premarital sex on Filthy Fridays on HardcoreChristianity.com. I'll make a couple of quick announcements. If you have the guts, go ahead and call somebody and tell them the radio program's on. If not, that's okay. I'll understand it. This is a little bit touchy today. Hey, this is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center in Central Phoenix. We're on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. It's downtown Phoenix. On the website, hardcorechristianity.com, we have all of our services there. We have services Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Our healing room is at 7 o'clock, run by Brother Rick. That is one of the most anointed services anywhere in the entire state of Arizona, period. Also, Thursday night, we have a 7 p.m. Teaching class for Christians who have mental illnesses. If you have a mental illness, anxiety, depression, bipolar, doesn't matter what it is, schizophrenia, please come in and don't suffer alone with this horrible mental disease. You can be completely cured. I've seen dozens of people healed. Even schizophrenics and schizoaffective disorders, completely cured. 7 p.m. Thursday nights. Friday night is my teaching service for my radio listeners. It's streamed on our live YouTube teaching channel and live on my Facebook page, Michael W. Smith. Send me an email, Mike at hardcorechristianity.com, with suggestions, complaints, gripes, or requests for self-deliverance lists. Send me an email. I'll be happy to hear from you. I answer all my emails, even the bad ones. On the website, you can sign up for a free seminar, catch some radio archives, hit the PayPal button, and send us another donation. Thank you for that. And Sister Karen is still on the front page of the website. She wants to list your house for sale for you. And thank you so much for all the referrals that you have sent us. Christian premarital sex today on Hardcore. It came to the forefront because of an incredibly popular television show called The Bachelorette. Almost everybody has seen this show, and of course it's about love and finding love and getting married and all the things that touch people's hearts. Well, this last season on The Bachelorette, you had some alleged Christians on there. None of them were actually true born-again Christians, but they were intellectual Christians, and they did go to church. They weren't actually born-again Christians. They weren't actually Spirit-filled Christians. And what happened on this show was you had a kind of a shocking scenario occur to a lot of people who were spiritually ignorant. It wasn't shocking to me at all. I knew exactly what was happening, but this gal named Hannah Brown, who was a beauty contestant winner, she was a professing Christian and went to church and came from an alleged, quote, Christian family. Of course, none of them were actually born again. They're just professing Christians in their minds. And she tried to find her future husband on the show, but what sparked the controversy was, and a national discussion popped up, was when one of the men, this guy that caused nothing but trouble in the group, claimed to be a Christian. And of course he wasn't. He was a phony Christian. But his name was Luke Parker. He expressed Christian convictions and got in a conversation with Hannah about premarital sex, and he disapproved of it. Okay, this guy came from a church background that disapproved of premarital sex, even though he had previously had premarital sex before. Well, it got him kicked off the show. Hannah felt he was judging her and criticizing her, and she said that she had had premarital sex and that Jesus still loved her. And so it started this national conversation. After Parker got kicked off the show, he tried 2 and 3 times to get back on the show. He was a continual nag and an extremely boring person. He kept getting on the show, and obviously Christianity only goes so far. If he's going to get kicked off the show, well, that's all he can bag Christianity for a while. And he came back and said, "Okay, that's not a problem. Please take me back. Like, I understand premarital sex. It's fine, no problemo." And that's kind of how it went. But I've been a counselor for 37 years, and as you can imagine, if you have couples in your youth group, or you've got a mega church and you've got a large youth group, you can be 100% sure that adultery is going on in that youth group. It happens all the time. It is just absolutely so common now that it cannot be avoided in any of the large churches. It just cannot be avoided. And the small ones for that matter as well. And people got into a big controversy about premarital sex, and sex is love, and sex is this and that. And in the final episode, this girl who was on The Bachelorette was bragging that she and another guy who had a hometown visit, an overnight visit, at the end of the movie, at the end of this TV series, they have overnight visits at these luxury hotels. And the program, of course, provides them with these incredibly romantic environments and provides them with all the booze and all the food they want to eat, because they want to get bizarre behaviors out of these people. It's a reality show. That's what they do. They want people to act like they've lost their mind because it's a reality show. That's why they do it. Duh. Well, they want people to have sex as much as they can on a reality show. And that's what they're looking for. Okay, but this thing really hit a nerve, because some people who are Christians felt that premarital sex is okay. Other Christians felt that it was a sin. Jesus said it was adultery, and you're not allowed to have premarital sex. That's wrong. And this girl on the show took exception to that and said the phrase that she quoted, "Jesus still loves me," is taken off. It's now a coined phrase in media and social platforms. And that's exactly right. People who have premarital sex are loved by Jesus. That is true. But it doesn't mean he approves of the sexual behavior. The problem with premarital sex is, and marital sex for that matter, you can pick up demons. If you marry somebody who was promiscuous before they got married and they decided to, quote, settle down, unquote, that person is loaded with unclean spirits. If you marry somebody who was heavily involved in pornography, that person has unclean spirits. And when you have intercourse, those spirits transfer over from one person to another during sex. You can pick up spirits by having intimate relations with somebody who has unclean spirits. They could be spirits of lust, anger, whatever, infirmity. You can pick up a sickness from somebody by having intercourse with them. You can pick up a mental illness from someone. If someone has a demonic mental illness and you have intercourse with them, you can get a transfer spirit. We call them transfer spirits. And these demons are extremely dangerous. And they transfer over, and people don't know they transfer. But all of a sudden, after you pick up a transfer spirit, you start noticing days and weeks later that there's something different about you as a person. You start to notice changes kind of in your attitude, in your emotions, in your sex drive. You notice your dream life's changed a little bit. You start sensing something went wrong. Something didn't go right. Well, you picked up a transfer spirit. See, this Hannah Brown, she was 24-year-old. She claimed to be a professing Christian, but then she said, it's okay to have premarital sex because Jesus still loves me. The concept there being, because God loves you, it's okay to do anything you want. Obviously, that is a demonic doctrine, a teaching of demons, 1 Timothy 4:1. And it's a lie promulgated by many churches. But our society is so sexed out in media and in music. Everywhere, everything is sex. They sell fish bait using sex. Some hot babe holding a bag of worms. Sex is sold everywhere. It's sold with everything. It's all over social media. It's all over Facebook. It's all over Twitter. Sex is everywhere. And so these sexual demons, these unclean spirits, through the psychiatric technique of systematic desensitization, simply numbs down the population to seeing sexual activity as no big deal, like it's nothing. That's what happens when you watch a lot of pornography. It doesn't work anymore. You need more porn. And if you watch more porn, that doesn't work anymore. You need a certain type of porn. And it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. You're systematically desensitized to the previous level you were at. Just like alcohol, just like drug, it always gets worse. Demons always make people worse. And the truth of the matter is, your teenagers are having intercourse and they're having sex. They're picking up transfer spirits. They've had abortions. They've had miscarriages, and you don't even know anything about it. The parents are the last to know. The parents are the last to know. And as soon as you take a purity pledge, the devil really attacks you and really puts the heat on you. All of a sudden, after you took a purity vow, all of a sudden, you suddenly find that everybody's interested in you. That's the devil trying to get you to break that vow. As soon as you break the vow, your conscience sears and you're ready to go on to deeper sinful behavior. There was a recent study came out about Christian attitudes toward dating and marriage. And this study showed a broad acceptance for living together before marriage and a broad acceptance of premarital sex. These were Christian young people that took this survey. Can you imagine that? It was called the 2014 State of Dating in America report, published by Christian Mingle and J-Date. 61% of the Christians said they would have sex before marriage. I mean, this is what's happening, folks. This is what's going on. If you picked up a transfer spirit because you experimented with your sexuality one night, you were drunk, you did something you shouldn't have done, something transferred up inside you, you slept with somebody you shouldn't even have shaken hands with, something got inside you, you're eligible for free counseling services and deliverance. 602-636-5800. Listen, friends, sex is serious business to God. And the media cheapens it, but demons find it extremely serious. It's their freeway system to infecting humans.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.